What do you? Is it Jinx Chin?
Singed. For a second, I was like, man, he actually is going to play Singed. But
God,
Karthus?
he's played all of these.
Yeah.
He's played every single one of these.
Soraka.
Okay. I don't mind the Soraka. Carrier playing with the hearts of every fan for a little bit there with that highlight reel, and
I was okay with the Karthus. You just like cue the turrets.
yeah.
I mean, Soraka though, I don't know.
Well, it doesn't solve your issues, as what I was mentioning earlier, with you playing Jinx with a relatively weak laner into Draven, Heimer, and Elise. I think that
Yeah.
Owner has one job this game, and it's just don't farm. Just sit in the butt brush. Keep that sapling uptime high, because
Yeah.
if you can get to the mid to late stage of the game, I know that there is a lot of power on the opposing team side with that Kassadin and the Ornn, so it's not a certain win, but the T1 composition in terms of late game is still absolutely menacing. But I don't know. I'm feeling the Hanwha draft here.
I don't know, man. I think they will have a pretty nice start. This says Karya Akshan plus Twitch. She's waiting for that. I think everybody's waiting for that. Still the two Viper fans together.
It's one of my favorite memes. I love that little POG. I don't know what it is, a cloud?
The POG Cloud, yes.
POG
He's
Cloud
our
as-
official POG Cloud mascot, yes.
So you're playing towards bot side here as Clid, trying to benefit from Viper and Life on this Draven Heimer Dinger duo, while you leave your solo lanes to just have a good time. And then as T1, again, I think you got to fight early, because late game might be in some trouble here.
Could be. Guys, we're jumping onto the Rift for this game number 3. All right. Well, here we go. Now, Owner has done this before where Faker was in a very important lane to win, and then he got a really key gank in mid that eventually led to snowballing into bot. That was when Faker was playing Kassadin.
Love this here. Early sapling there to make sure that Life and Viper can't just walk up to the brush, and as a result, should be level 1 control over the bot lane here for Gumayusi and Karya. With, as we pointed out, this is all about bot lane. Because if Guma and Karya can take early control of the lane and not really allow Viper and Life to set up, they're going to buy themselves a lot of breathing room. And if they're unable to do so, and they get shoved in starting main 1, then Clid paths from blue to Gromp to red, and then dives bot, and then never really stops.
What are we doing here? Okay, we're just warding. You're just walking towards mid. I'm like, what?
What's happening?
You can just run into the bottom river. It's Kassadin. Anything stand out here?
Not from a quick glance. Do have Owner going for the first strike, which, especially combined with the futures market, is going to lead to him getting a ton of early gold, or rather gold over the course of the game. Gumayusi's Jinx win rate should not be a surprise. That was the entirety of spring last year. We went from Jinx Aphelios, and then in summer we had Sivir. Those were the 80 carries that existed.
Wow, this is his first time playing Yone in the LCK. And that makes it his 73rd unique pick in the LCK. So Faker just continuing to stack those, and hopefully we have, you know, including this year, 3 years with his contract to get even more.
Oh, yep. Owner knows, pathing towards bot side as well, but Clid a little bit ahead. Did not pick up his red buff yet, just cleared his top side, and then now making his way over. Should have an easy time, even with the electrocute. Obviously, Owner is still not going to be able to match even remotely, but do note, there is mid-prio here, so Faker eventually can come to help. Zeka is a caster minion, because he's a Kassadin preset, so
yes,
he doesn't really do anything. And as a result,
He's like a caster minion with an AoE strike.
cool.
It's kind of what it reminds. He like upgraded his
Oh,
skills.
cleared. Oh no.
He's
Okay.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
He's got Omega Prio on bot side too, so
Hey, Faker got some spiders. That's free gold.
that's free gold. GG. Oh, but that actually bought some time for Owner to pick up this blue buff.
Nicely done. And when all is said and done, bot lane hasn't been dove, although Carrier did heal there. Not sure what happened, but might just have been to put that on cooldown.
Is that a
Because that's
win
what we
now
do.
when the bot lane doesn't get dove at 3 minutes?
At least it's meta, Veldas.
Is that where we are?
What do you want from me? That's how it is. Oh, nice dodge by Owner there.
I mean, it's not your fault, but...
well, that's the meta.
Smite. Nope. It's going to go the way of Clid. Here comes Keria, who is very fast because of the low owner as, okay, we do have a
Sapling.
sapling, and he's going to get rooted up here. Uh-oh, Clid in a lot of trouble. He is going to repel as he's up against the wall, and he just gets zapped by Guma. And Clid, one step too far, perhaps. He got the Gromp, though.
But he had
Hashtag
flash.
worth. He felt safe, and then he got zapped.
Oh, that's very, very, very bad, because now the one member of T1 around, except Faker, I guess, which this entire comp is centered, now picks up a free early kill. I say free because literally didn't cost Guma anything. He walked over, pressed
Spent
W.
mana.
Well, yeah, okay, sorry. Not literally, figuratively.
Oh, okay.
Okay, he also wasted time, but I'm not going to factor that into everything, Valdez.
I only think in straight up literal terms. Sorry, Chronicler.
Oh, that's on me. We've been casting together for 2 years now. I should be more aware.
Well, Clid says, well, I died. I'm going to walk over ward here and take this dragon. I think he should still be able to, although Owner and Carrier are making their way over here in an attempt to stop this.
Let's a level down.
Two turrets are
Teleport's
helping,
coming in.
I don't think it's fast enough, yeah.
Clip does a flash, so
here. Yeah, bottom lane is here as well.
with Draven, I think this should be fine now.
Should be. Clid is taking a decent amount of damage, as it looks like T1 want to fight this 4v4. As in they go, nice cocoon, but that is going to go the way of Elise, and Faker goes a little bit too far, but he gets a huge burst onto the Elise, gets ignited down, and that should be enough to push T1 back. Although Clid almost got zapped twice in a row.
Yeah, you might have Kassadin, and T1 might have Yone, but then the other three champions are a lot better for Humble Life. So you see the power, even with Clid being initially a level down there, just by the virtue of... This is like such a nice trap as well, because Owner dodges the cocoon, then Carrier comes in for the reinforcement with the speed boost, right? And then Clid, watch this. So, Sapling one. Actually, I thought the top side got him, but that one just timed out. Otherwise, it would have even been less close. And yeah, I think for that one does get him, and I think for Clid, the call might have been that he was dead here anyway, because Faker would get him, even if he does flash. So
yeah.
Might have just wanted to flash like immediately as Owner walks back into him and Carrier's there. Not going to be the case, but with Draven and Heimer, you're at the very least going to be able to still posture aggressively early on. But, you know, you get a Drake, which is nice, but overall, not really what you're looking for. Now, there is a lot of insurance policy for Humble Life. We still have Kassadin and Sion, so
yeah,
it's not like the game is ever going to be completely unplayable, but...
Soraka as well, when I first saw it, I was like, you know, I'm not sure how I feel about this, but especially against Kassadin and even Elise. The second they dive in, you just drop a silence field, and it's like, okay, what is Kassadin going to do? Is he going to jump away? Well, he can't.
Not only that, but it also allows Guma to run barrier and then Carrier also to run heal. Because, of course, on Soraka you're going for the heal, but with Guma also having the barrier, like the amount of extra shielding and health that you get can be super pivotal into champions like the Elise. Kassadin, I do think once he reaches a certain lane game state, is just going to 2-tap Jinx, but hopefully for T1, at that point they have taken firm control of the game, and then Kassadin never really gets to his power spike, as do have Owner moving over here.
Yeah, not much of a
That's going to secure a little bit of vision.
He's actually, yeah, he's coming in with some saplings, nicely done, just keeping them safe while they push. As the Axis
Viper
catch Guma, nice pressure onto this Jinx. As now Clid in the area, they're not going to actually commit to it, but heal and barrier used by Guma and Carrier.
Yeah, I do see the power there. If Life has an ultimate available, they might actually get the kills. Oh, I love this. This is a special. Look at the pings.
He's back.
They're pinging. They're suspecting this. They're like, Sion is somewhere.
Where
don't know where.
is Sion?
Okay, well, Sion's not getting anything done this game.
Who are these players?
Oh, here we go. They're going to try anyway.
Yeah, Guma, I think he's just accepting his death. I mean, he flashed, though. Everybody's here. Like, all 5 members are bot. You're 100% dead.
That's not fair.
Don't flash. Nice setup here from the side of Humble Life Esports. As regardless of if they were expecting it, ends up working.
And you teleport back to top lane. Miss out minimally. They should be losing the Herald for this play. And we do see T1 the on our way pings coming through now, but that's going to be full wave into the turret as well, and Gumayushi really in the unfortunate position of playing Jinx without any help there underneath his turret against 5 people. Although I have a tough time thinking of a lot of any duo that survives against the combined might of Draven and Sion and Elise.
Let me think. I think Mordekaiser.
No, I'm talking like AD carry support duo.
Well, you said duo, so you know.
Well, yeah, let's take a reasonable... actually, carry us in the lane, so maybe support Mordekaiser or super...
Support Mordekaiser and...
Hey, you force everyone to buy QSS?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, easy.
That's already the value from your support pick. Although, if you get trapped in with support Mordekaiser, you probably just kill him and then... No, but it's tank support Mordekaiser.
Yeah, so he just sits there.
So he just stands there. He doesn't cast abilities, he just emotes at you. And tries to tilt you off the face of the planet as you're stuck in the Death Realm.
And he doesn't want to actually fight you, he claws you away.
Yeah. I see the angle, I like it.
As, possible collapse here for T1. They're considering it, but don't want to take the risk. And I do think that T1 doesn't really need you. In terms of assessing scaling, I do think that this is a bit of a tough game. And it's really going to come down to how the individual members look, right? If Guma gets very fed, if T1 take control, then I do think they're in a great position. But just the threat of a Kassadin does make me a little bit worried, even though there is a lot of CC, right? There is Faker, there is Owner trying to play bodyguard, Zeus as well, can all try and keep Guma safe in the later stages of the game.
Oh boy. Clint is here on the backside of this as Faker just trying his desperately best to get away from that one. He's just gonna flash the wall. So nice positioning from Clint to be there. As now maybe a Hextech Drake on the cards for the side of Homalife Esports.
Really a redemption series for Clint, who was, I think, justifiably very much criticized after his first couple of weeks in the LCK, but as I say that, I think back to the earlier play, which was not great. So, you know, if we disregard that, actually Heimer getting it, nicely done there. But still, overall, over the course of this series, I think showing clear signs of improvement, which is always nice. We also haven't seen the Herald being placed just yet, as Zeus.
What's going on here? It's a tank fight, trying to kill the Sion.
Hey, he's going all out, okay? He's a bruiser now. For a little bit.
All right.
Yeah. Not that Sion cares.
Yeah. Are we just back in, like, tank v tank top lane?
Maybe. With Jax and Fiora as good as they are, you wouldn't expect people... I think counter top tanks are fine, yeah? But, yeah, if you try to play, like, blind side and you face Fiora, I don't think you can have I don't think you're going to have a very good time. I think you're going to have a very bad time.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very fun. As Rift Heralds. This is the first Rift Heralds. She's going to be dropped here at 12.5 minutes. She was kind of doing a little dance there for a second, but she's okay. A couple of plates as Faker gets in range. What is going on in this series?
I'm looking
I don't know.
At Veldas. Veldas is looking at me.
Yeah.
And we're just enjoying the silence. I think that's beautiful, no? Well, it's
just
not.
getting lost in the depths of your eyes.
Oh, Veldas, you make me blush, which I don't appreciate, FYI.
Yeah, Chronicler hates compliments.
Yeah.
In fact, he loves when you just straight up insult him.
That's, yeah.
Okay,
like
Faker goes very deep. He does get a 175 gold. Very nice.
You make it sound worse than it is, Valdez. But let's not get into that. As overall Run of Age is now done here for Zeka. Should be looking at a very nice spike once he finishes that and his Zeref's Embrace. And overall, we do see Viper 365 stacks, as many as there are days in the year.
Wow.
Beautiful. Well, now it's ruined.
Yep. Now he's in the next tier. Owner just coming down here to play bodyguard.
That's his job. That's all he needs to do. Because Yeah, as mentioned, I do think that the late game Jinx win condition is a big one, but as far as actual setup go, I can still see some issues as
Faker getting caught here by the Cocoon. No escape for him. The Soraka ult may have saved him just barely, as in goes Zeka, and the flash from Clid will be enough. A very nice setup as he's able to get over the wall and into that lane.
These are some pivotal moments here for Home Wildlife Esports. As mentioned, I think that both two teams have a lot of claim when it comes to the late game team fighting. That sign really bolstering what otherwise would be, I think, a fairly tough to execute composition from Home Wildlife. Still, gonna have to see how Clid and Viper are able to navigate late game team fights when, you know, Faker is sitting on 2 free items, when Gumayushi and a couple of autos will shred everyone, and if you think the range disadvantage for Home Wildlife at that point is going to be a problem. But their mid game here, very, very strong. Clid just hiding in wait, reads it beautifully here, and they get the 100-0. Even with the wish, even with the ultimate, not going to be quite enough. Clid with the flash and the execute, not the kill. Nicely done by Home Wildlife, and might set up for a nice Drake here as well. And if they can get an early Mountain Soul, that is going to change some of the equations here. Going to make it a lot harder for Guma as
got him.
It's cancelled, very sad. And also it's going to make Zeka even more of a menace, right? He already gets a ton of health with the setup that he has. You add extra resistance to that as well. Bit scary here for T1.
Here comes another rocket. It's been a while since teams have had to worry about Jinx rockets stealing objectives in a professional match. I wanted to ask, is this the first Jinx we've had in 2023?
In the LCK? I think so, yeah. Fairly certain that we haven't seen it before.
It's kind of crazy with how much we loved our Jinx for many years.
Maybe she's going to be good again on the next patch. You don't know. You know, 2 crit item 80 carries. Could be a thing.
Got to be ready.
The one issue I do see for the Home Wildlife composition, if they are unable to maintain, you know, more control over the game, is that I think their engage is pretty lackluster. Cyan on his own is obviously very telegraphed and can help you start fights, but it's not really the most reliable form of engage. So you are somewhat reliant on, as we just short of 500 stacks, are going to be taking a look at Viper, whether or not he's actually able to pick up kill here in the upcoming fight. But actually starting fights, if you don't have control of an area, can be tough because it's Cocoons or Cyan, right? So if you don't have vision and Maokai is throwing saplings everywhere, I run into some issues.
Well, big fight over this Mountain Drake, seemingly incoming. Kingin already extremely tanky. Just thinking about leading the charge. I like the angle if he comes in from the mid lane, but you can see that T1 is not really overextending into the river. They need to deal with this Rift Herald first from the side of Home Wildlife Esports. Could have just potentially dropped it and tried to rush for the mountain. Their turn also quite nice. So here we go. Might deny this charge, looks like it. Yep, there's the eye hit. As, I mean, a big cheer from the audience. Even if that did charge, it's not really that big a deal, but that's okay.
Poke landing decently well here on T1. Kingin has his ultimate available.
Yeah, they're just trying to straight up run in with the Maokai ultimate here, as Viper has to cleanse even just to make sure he doesn't get rooted down in a bad spot. Kingin is still in this brush. T1 just goes straight down the lane and then straight out of the lane. So Home Wildlife Esports looking to take a free Mountain Drake.
It's going to be a soul point here for Home Wildlife Esports. And yeah, I talked about Zeka already. There is also Sion, who, are they going to try to contest anyway? I think not going to be the case here. Faker just going to teleport to make sure that the turret is okay. But yeah, Sion is already, we're 18 minutes in, he's sitting on 3,000 health. If you add a Mountain Soul to that, you're gonna have a bad time, Valdez.
Yeah, I really struggle to see You know, unless T1 can get to like 4
Like,
items.
yeah.
Even then, like, you really need a great setup for the team fight to make sure your Jinx doesn't blow up in 2 seconds to Whirling Death and Cassidon.
It's
And
tough.
even then, you got to get through the Scion, which, you know, 4-item Jinx probably can, but...
Ooh. Note owner also going for the Leandries, so trying to bolster his team damage in that way. And I wouldn't even mind if Guma decides to go for Lord Dominic's second here. Is much weaker in terms of like the 2-item power spike when you do finish it, but then to compensate, your 3-item power spike is going to feel amazing. And into Hanwha Life, there. Oh, look at that. There you go. Last Whisper bot already.
There you go.
Very happy. Hey, look at that 800 stacks. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see if that ever comes to fruition here, as we see that Faker is trying to kill Scion. That is a fate many a person has tried and failed at, as Sklid gonna land the cocoon. Doesn't know what's on the other side of that brush, and he's kind of far away from Kingen, so he's like, well, we got Faker, we pushed him back a little bit, and that'll be good enough for now. But Faker's really got to be careful about going in on stuff like that.
Kingen's waiting. They don't know. Okay, now he knows. The Goon Squad coming up towards top side, but doesn't really matter. Zeka is just having a grand old time here in this lane. And shove it out. Zeus says bye. And pieces out. And overall, we are waiting for the next dragon, because for T1, I do believe that every single Drake now is a life or death type of fight. And as mentioned, Guma might be able to finish his Lord Dominic's when you get to the second objective, but that spike is okay, not amazing. If Faker can get his IE as well, then could be feeling okay, but overall, I gotta say, Hanwha Life seems to have a great read on T1 in this second and third game, right? Like really just saying, okay, well, we're gonna team fight. What are you gonna do about it? Kingen back on tanks. I'm loving it.
It just feels so natural.
Yeah, if you just watched Worlds, you might be wondering why we're asking for this, but this was 2022 summer when we saw some great Kingen moments. It was on his own, most notably, but even his Scion, his tanks in general, I think have always just been really, really great. As Zeka, I think he was literally just sitting on tier, then based and bought an entire Ceros.
Yeah.
So 2 stacks away, 2 more minutes. And, you know, I think T1 had the ability to out-execute here, but I'd be a little worried if I was a T1 fan. As we get to this next objective, I do think that if Zeka can hit 15, he's going to hit level 16, right? Like, as the Mountain Drake comes around. And yeah, Leandris is nice. That's big. Faker is about 400 gold away from finishing his IE as well. And he probably will be able to his TP as well, so that should be fine. But if we take stock, then I think Hanwha Life, you know, 2-item spike on Draven, a Cassidon that's level 16.
Yeah.
It'll be a toughie.
And your Jinx is like, well, I have a Lord Dominic's. Yeah, you're doing okay damage.
It's the right item.
Yeah.
But it's not great.
It's the right item, but also you need 2 more right items, potentially, in this game. I mean, and you could argue, okay, well, maybe you want to, you know, catch Cassidon before he's truly online, but I mean, there it is, level 15.
Look at his XP.
Yeah, look at his XP bar down there in the bottom left. It's 90% of the way, maybe even 95. I mean, he's gonna hit it before this Mountain Drake spawns, and that's Mountain Soul. This isn't just like huge amount of resistances. It's a shield on top of everything. Like, is Yone going to be able to burst through that? There's going to be huge amounts of stacked armor.
Didn't get it off that wave, so he needs one more, but it's 75 seconds. Yeah, he'll get it.
Here, yeah.
It's happening. Guma does hit a spike as well. Faker also going to finish his Infinity Edge now on this base, I'm certain. Will that be enough here, Valdez?
13 seconds to the Drake, and Hanwha Life Esports, they set up the push in mid. They set up the vision line. They're the ones in control of this area.
Oh, this is the game-deciding fight, I think.
It should be.
What is it, 700, 800 stacks for Viper as well?
Yeah, it's going to be a massive amount of gold as Faker's down 2 levels. I mean, Yone's not building Rod anytime soon, and Zeka's had a lot of side laning time. So, of course, that's just naturally going to happen. And, I mean, this is it. I mean, King is just going to stand in front. Faker will look for the side angle here. We'll see if he can catch one. As he is over the wall, he's going to catch Klid on this one, but Azonius is available. Can the team get in to help him, though? He goes up in the rappel as Zeka is zoning away the rest of the team as Klid will stay in and take it down. That's Mountain Soul for Life Esports. Viper able to 1v1 at Cassante. And now T1 are just lost in the front line. They have no way as Faker is trying desperately to provide some sort of a front line. Guma just gonna kill force into the team, and Life Esports will shut them down huge in the team fights.
And Guma desperately looking for the resets there, doesn't even get the final auto off on Zeka. Well, Viper cast in, sitting on 3.2k gold, but even if they didn't, as long as Life didn't lose that fight too decisively, the moment they got that Mountain Soul, they were chilling. Imagine if that Soul doesn't come through, then maybe you do get the kill. Maybe Guma gets the resets. He's doing an incredible amount of damage in this fight. But this is what T1 risked when they gave up, particularly that third Drake, right? Like, Zeus is buying a lot of time here, and Viper is always going to take him down eventually, but crucially, he's not in the fight, right? And Guma is doing as much as he can, but again, imagine if there is no Mountain Soul right now. Like, look at the health bar on Kingen. Right, look at the health bar on Zeka as Guma is going to flash over here.
Even Klid.
Those might be game-turning moments, but instead, Life paying off as, yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's...
1792.
We get both sides of Draven, and man, Life took them about 2.5 weeks, but they finally made it to the LCK.
Yeah, they finally got here. Welcome to the LCK, Life Esports. Very nice to have this team in and performing. I do feel like T1, you know, in the last couple of games, they have not been able to be proactive. I understand in this game, it's like, okay, well, you've got a Yone, you've got a Jinx, but I don't know. Maybe it's the draft. Maybe they just looked a little bit better when they were going for lane domination rather than whatever this is. As yeah, now with the Baron, Life Esports, a team that says, okay, you want to go scaling, you want to take these games slow and steady, we will easily take you down. And Zeus is just falling apart like a piece of paper in front of Viper, who is massively fit.
That was one auto!
Yeah.
That was 60... Guma went down to 60% of his health.
Flash Cocoon, might as well go for it. T1 don't have a chance in the world of stopping this push. It's Mountain Soul, level 15 Scion with a 3.5 item Draven at 27 minutes into the game.
They're gonna do it, Valdez. Life about to give T1 their first loss of spring.
And in magnificent fashion as well. Just excellently done. The way they have played around their power spikes has been very nice to see. And Kingen, once again, he's just in the front line. He is just having a great old time. Faker is going to get a pretty nice ultimate, but a little bit too little, too late. Some of those health bars did get quite low. Zeka is trying his desperateliest to stop them, but it is not going to be enough. Life Esports will clean them up. A massive smile on Life's face as they will take down the Nexus turrets and the Nexus 2-1 to Life Esports tonight.
And the creativity and the dominance that T1 has shown thus far, nowhere to be found in these last 2 games. But the performance of all the members, really, of Life, looking amazingly. Klid hitting a couple of super key smites, actually finding, barring that first play, plays across the map, right? Hits cocoons, takes down Faker, puts them on the back foot. Viper, well, self-explanatory, having a wonderful series, both in the previous game and then this one. And Kingen, he's a beefy boy, and he's back on the beefy boys. You gotta love it, Valdez. Life Esports with a super important victory here.
Yeah, it's very fun the way they did it as well, because You know, we came into this one and everybody's talking about T1's crazy drafts and all the different angles they've got. What is Carrier going to play today? You know, all the hype is around all their craziness. And then Hololive Esports come in. Takes them a little while. They almost are able to find some angles in game one. And then I feel like in a couple of drafts in a row, they're able to kind of draw T1 in to their gameplay, to their game style. And they just straight up outplay them 2 games in a row. Like, what else can you say? Some very interesting, some weird picks today in this series. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to the tank top chronicler. Some things never change.
And finally, the Liv Sandbox mental boom has worn off. Zeka flexing.
Finally, his shoulder's taking a little bit of a rest.
He really, because he played well today, but he wasn't the focal point, and that to me is so big for a team that was looking like we're making a lot of Zeka Live esports jokes. Vipers is like, yeah, I played well.
Yeah.
Hey everyone.
I mean, this guy, you know, he's a consummate professional. He knows that, like, this is just the first step. Like, it's almost relief you see on his face, right? Yeah. It's like, okay, we did it. Great, awesome.
And now
feels great,
it
but
really starts.
Now we begin. You know, he's not going to do any crazy ceremony or anything like that. He understands that it's a big win, but there's still more to come. There's a lot of work to do for this team.
So happy Viper's back. As this man on your screen right now as well deserves a lot of credit for how he's been able to turn it around. Was looking like one of the worst junglers within the LCK for week number 1 and 2. Just no cohesion, no communication with his lanes at all. Gets the Elise, and again, we're showing.
Yeah, just delete this highlight. And
then outside of that, he was great. This was.
And even this, it's like, you know, he got a little bit over aggressive, but he's still doing his job, you know. It was a pretty large mistake, but, you know, after that, he was on every single gank.
And it takes a lot to come back from, I think, a start that poor, where you are very much the focal point of criticism. And we see as well that this Hololive roster, when they get a draft that just allows them to straight up 5v5, look like a completely different team. It's really well done, right? The front to back is great. It also gives Viper the space that I feel like he's been lacking in a lot of other drafts. His Zeri game comes to mind, where he had to play very far forward. And obviously, you can always criticize them for the positional mistakes that you make as you're playing far forward, but looking at this, and I think it's really good for the LCK. I love seeing teams that are supposed to be good come into their own and really showcase the level of play that we're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. We're listening into some of the last moments. No laughing, no, you know, no celebrating yet. It's all serious here at the end. Calling the Yone stun.
나 타워 잘했다. 왜 펜타를 안 주네? 잘했다.
우리 이제 첫 경기지 우리?
잘했다. 잘했어요. 우리 잘했다.
Sighs of relief.
I think he said like this was our first game or something like that. I'm not, you know.
Makes sense.
Maybe that's the way he felt, because obviously that wasn't their first win, but maybe in a figurative sense, Chronicler, which you taught me about today. You know, perhaps in a way this is